New M3 MacBook Air is out. Should you buy it? Or is the M2 generation a better choice? Let's talk about it. So, Apple just dropped the M3 MacBook Air today. And I just had a video planned out to come out earlier today talking about the new products that Apple is going to launch in March. Talking about the M3 OLED iPad Pro, the M3 MacBook Air, and the iPad Air. And what can we see, the newest features, and why we are not going to get an Apple event in March, according to Mark Gurman. But Apple just blew it. Apple just decided to launch the new products this week and completely destroyed my video. My video didn't even get the chance to age like milk from yesterday. Nope, it just didn't. I canceled the video, deleted the files, and here I am, making another video on the same day that it's going to come out. So yes, today is Monday. If you don't believe me, today is Monday. So 6:30 in my country, Monday. Again, look at it. This is on top of my leg, like we say here in Portugal. Apple just decided to launch the M3 MacBook Air. Like, this launch was so random that even the features are not that big. Again, we are getting the same computer, the same MacBook Air with the M2, the same computer, but with the M3 chip. The newer changes also are Wi-Fi 6E, and we are also getting some new voice isolation, some probably new microphone tech, and of course, better audio quality. I think Apple improved the microphone, and I think also Apple improved the neural cores and neural engine from the M3. So that brings more AI features, more and better sound quality features, and of course, better Wi-Fi with the Wi-Fi 6E standard. Other than that, a more fingerprint resistant finish for the midnight blue color, which I've had in the M2 MacBook Air, and I can tell you is super fingerprinting magnet. So, at the end of the day, is the M3 MacBook Air a good buy? And what are the prices? How much does it cost? And is it worth it over the M2 MacBook Air? That's the big question. And that's something you gotta answer, because the difference is now between the base model M2 MacBook Air and the base model M3 MacBook Air is $100. The M2 MacBook Air starts at $999, while the M3 MacBook Air starts at $1,100, $1,099. The 15-inch version of this M3 MacBook Air starts at $1,299, and yeah, that's it. That's your options in terms of the MacBook Air lineup. Should you go for the M2? Should you go for the M3? Well, the difference between the M3 and the M1 is up to 60% of performance, but over the M2, I would say would be around 20% of a difference. So, not as big as Apple is marketing. Again, is it worth it? $100. One thing is you can also find the M2 MacBook Air on a discount in like most stores probably that will want to get rid of their inventory, and they will try to. So here's the thing. If you are going to buy a new computer, the $100 difference between the M2 MacBook Air and the M3 MacBook Air, I think it's worth it to go over the M3. You get better GPU, you get better CPU, you will probably get better battery life with a better efficiency nodes in terms of the cores, because again, this is a different chip, this is a different architecture, this is a 3nm architecture instead of the 5nm present on the M2, so it's going to be more powerful and more efficient, but $100 on the new market, it's not that much, and I think it's justifiable to buy the M3 over the M2. But if you are going to buy it used or try to find it at a discount, then the M2 is such a good value that I don't understand why would you buy the M3. Hear me out. The M2 costs $999 from Apple, but I think you can find it for $750, $800 used or even refurbished, which is such a good deal. This is the same computer that you are talking about. We are talking about the same design, the same color options, the same I/O, the same display, the same keyboard, the same trackpad. Everything is the same if you compare the M2 against the M3. The only difference, guys, the only difference is actually the chip. And of course, Wi-Fi 6E. If this Wi-Fi standard is really important for you, then I guess the M3 MacBook Air is the only option, but I think that's a petty reason. I think that the M3 MacBook Air is only worth it on the base model, and I think it's only worth it if you are going to buy it new. If you are not going to buy a new computer, you are not like against buying used computers, you are not afraid to do so, then the M2 is such a better value. And if you are not afraid of going for the M1, oh my god, you will probably be able to find it for around $500 now on eBay. That's just insane. That computer is so cool still, an amazing display. It has the older design and less I/O, but with the M1 chip, it's super powerful. As for the M2, go find it refurbished. Do not buy new from Apple. I think that there's some products refurbished now on a very big discount. They look brand new, especially from Apple refurbished. So do not buy from Apple new, buy from Apple refurbished. That's my advice. But of course, as for the M3 MacBook Air, that computer is the same as the M2, but with the M3 chip. So if the M3 is a big upgrade for you, if the M3 looks good in terms of the sheet specs, then go for the M3. One thing you shouldn't do is upgrade the M3. Do not go for the more powerful versions because it will scale up very, very fast. If you decide to buy the non-bin version of the M3 MacBook Air, that's $100 more, putting you at $1,200. If you decide to go one up in terms of the memory or the RAM, that's extra $200 on top of that price. So if you decide to upgrade the RAM and the storage, you are very, very close to the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 chip. Yes, you are getting the same chip. You are. But the difference is, with the M3 14-inch MacBook Pro, you are getting such better design, better I/O, better display with a 14-inch mini LED display, better keyboard, better trackpad. It's just better every single way. Bigger battery, and in my opinion, a design that is almost as compact as the M2 and M3 MacBook Airs, but is such more powerful, has a better thermal isolation, has a better thermal management, so it won't overheat as much, and the M3 will be able to perform at its best every time. So it's a tough choice when you are going to buy a MacBook in today's lineup. It's very confusing, but that's by design. Apple decides to create a confusing lineup, so it's easier for you to jump in the ladder. You decide to upgrade your RAM, you decide to upgrade your storage, and you decide, wait, that's almost the same as the 15-inch MacBook Air. So I will buy that. Then you decide to go for that. But when you start to upgrade that computer a tiny bit more, I will give it a little bit more RAM, a little bit more storage, so it lasts more time. Then, oh, I'm at the price of the 14-inch MacBook Pro. Well, I guess a better design and, of course, a bigger battery, a better display. It's worth the extra $100. And you buy the MacBook Pro without even noticing. So that's the price structure of Apple. The MacBook Pros with the M3 Pro and M3 Max, those are different. Those are more for prosumers, not as much for consumers. But this ladder for the consumer side of the spectrum of the MacBook lineup is so real, and it works every single time. This is marketing, guys. This is genius from Apple. It works on the iPad lineup, works on the iPhone lineup, and definitely works on the MacBook lineup. So if you are going to buy an M3 MacBook Air today, then be wise and buy the base model. But if you are looking for the best value computer today, then I would advise you to go for the M2 MacBook Air on the Apple refurbished website. It will be cheaper, and if you are even braver than that, then go for eBay. You can find it really cheap with very amazing prices, and this computer will surpass your expectations by a mile. So if you are excited for the M3 MacBook Air, well, subscribe to the channel. I don't want to buy an M3 MacBook Air, but I will buy an M3 iPad Pro that is also coming out tomorrow. So if you are excited for the M3 MacBook Air, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. I won't be buying the M3 MacBook Air to review because, again, I bought the M2, the 13-inch and the 15-inch size. I don't need to buy another computer that looks the same, performance a bit better, but the only difference would be the performance, and that it's still less powerful than an M1 Max MacBook Pro, so I don't need to test it out. As far as the rest of the products coming during this week, I expect we are going to get an iPad Pro. That's it. I don't think we are going to get even more. Maybe an iPad Air. Let's see. Rumors point out to 3 different products coming out this week. M3 MacBook Air, M3 iPad Pro with OLED screens, newer design, Magic Keyboard, newer Apple Pencil, and of course, the new iPad Air. So, first of the 3 is out. Let's see if tomorrow Apple decides to launch the M3 iPad Pro. For that, I'm super excited. So, which version would you buy? The M3 MacBook Air, 13-inch, 15-inch, or would you spend a bit more and go for the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the same M3 chip? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Tech Smart talking to you here. Bye-bye.